So you're new or old to ESO and trying to decide what to spend your crowns or real money on, or even if it's worth it at all. Look no further. Today we're going to have a straightforward look at what exactly is worth it from a cheap or frugal perspective of ESO's crown store. So to delay no further, let's hit right into the ultimate question, because the first most worth it item in my opinion is ESO Plus. If you have the disposable income to afford $15 a month on a game, I do recommend getting ESO Plus, because as far as getting your money's worth out of the game, it's worth it. ESO Plus can be confusing as far as what you receive, so I'm going to directly tell you what you get in the simplest of terms. ESO has two types of added content: chapters and DLC. Chapters are basically large pieces of content that include a variety of stories, dungeons, and DLC content. Sometimes chapters even include added character classes. DLCs are individual pieces of content that might only be a few dungeons or a few guild quests depending on specifically what it is. With ESO Plus, you'll get every DLC available at the time of purchase except for the newest chapter. After 1 year, a chapter becomes DLC, and then they're unlocked for ESO Plus members. Except for things like added classes. So that's that. Now, you'll also be given 1,500 crowns for in-store purchases every month. This means you'll be able to save up for other major items like mounts or pets, but also spend on minor things like experience scrolls or bundles. There will also be exclusive items and price discounts for ESO Plus members on almost everything. So that's pretty much the financial extent of ESO Plus. Now in-game, ESO Plus gives you more craft bag space, making creating armor, weapons, and more all the easier because you will have one less inventory type to manage. And as you may or may not know, there are a lot of items in ESO, so it's definitely a noticeable impact. Next up, we have all the free items such as quests, housing, decor, or even your first house in the game, which is started by the Spare Room questline. There are a ton of pre-log quests to sift through if you're playing as a single player looking to dive into the lore, so not everything is just cosmetic superficial items. There's actually in-game content for free. Why is it not just in the game naturally? I'd assume some stories were given proper context after the official quests were made, and by offering them in-store, it was an easy way to bring eyes to the shop and provide background post-release. Our third item on the list is one of the many bankers in the utility assistant area. These bankers are your storage across all characters, and not only is it nice to not have to travel to a town, but imagine getting a full inventory mid-dungeon, but you want to keep everything you have. Easy solution is having a banking assistant to simply lock and hide your various treasures for later use or transfer. And our fourth item is related to that, because the same exact thing can be said about the merchant assistant. Except instead of holding onto the items, it's perfect for resource selling or buying back things you may or may not need in the middle of your adventure. There are many other assistant types, such as a mobile outfit changing assistant for your cosmetic needs, or even a tailor who can deconstruct items into crafting materials instead of waiting until you're back in town. Now while I'm here and I have your attention, I also want to tell you about the things not to buy briefly. I wouldn't spend any real or crown money on respec purchases, because there's an in-game resource for redistributing attributes and skills if you want to change your build. Players actually discovered a way to even surpass that cost, where you can respec your character for free. And I actually have a video on how to do that, so I'll make sure to leave a link or a card, so keep an eye out for that and check it out if you want more info. I also wouldn't put money into vampire or werewolf bites, as there are many players willing to bite others for free. Many people believe werewolves and vampires are useless in the game, but I think they can be a fun experience, especially for role players out there. I myself have 3 total characters, one is a werewolf and one's a vampire, and I invested in both skills to be able to turn other people to do my part for the community. Plus, I just love soloing and doing lore and roleplay stuff. I also wouldn't immediately recommend spending too much on EXP scrolls or mount training, because you get monthly rewards that offer scrolls, and ride training is a free daily thing. So if you're in a rush to level up or increase your mount capability, then obviously it's a perfectly fine option to buy, especially if you have ESO Plus, since you're gaining monthly crowns anyway. So to recap, the 4 best items in the crown shop are ESO Plus for its perks and advantages, the free quests and resources, the various technical assistants, specifically the banker and merchant. Check out more of my ESO guides for new and returning players, and subscribe for the Skyrim and Elder Scrolls lore content. Much love, as always, be safe out there.